Beloved ones, the morning is not simply a habit of the clock. It is not something that happens to you. It is something you enter into. I have watched humanity becomes very closely, not only in others but also within myself. I have seen how the same day can become either a burden or a blessing, depending on how the morning is lived. The mistake humanity has made is very simple. People think the day begins when they open their eyes. No, the day begins much earlier, in the quality of consciousness with which you wake up. Most people wake up already tired, not because they have done anything but because they carry yesterday into today. The night ends, but the mind does not. Thoughts continue, emotions continue, worries continue, and when you wake up in that same stream, your aura is immediately clouded. You may not see it, but you feel it. A subtle heaviness surrounds you. You feel slightly off, slightly dull, without any clear reason. When I was living in deep observation, I discovered that the first few moments after waking are the most delicate. The aura is open, undefended, innocent. It is like a child just born into the world again. Whatever you bring into those moments leaves a deep imprint. If you bring hurry, the whole day becomes hurried. If you bring anxiety, the whole day trembles. If you bring awareness, the whole day carries a fragrance of silence. I never allowed myself to jump out of bed. I watched my body awaken. I felt the breath moving on its own. I listened to the silence of the early morning. I did nothing, and yet everything was happening. In those moments, the aura starts settling by itself. There is no effort, no discipline, no forcing, just allowing. Understand this clearly. Purification is not something you do to the aura. Purification happens when you stop disturbing it. The modern mind wants methods, steps, techniques, but life does not work through force, it works through harmony. When you wake slowly, when you give yourself a few moments of loving attention, the accumulated dust of unconscious living begins to fall away naturally. People ask me, Osho, what is the secret of freshness? There is no secret, there is only sensitivity. The morning invites you to be sensitive again, to feel your body, to feel your breath, to feel your presence without labeling it. Beloved ones, if you can learn just this much, to wake up without violence, without urgency, without thought, you have already taken the first and most important step toward a pure aura. The rest will follow on its own. Life always supports those who begin their day in awareness. The second ritual of the morning is not an action. And skellstrukt enedsia, dedsia conductor one sit velisnad. Dedsia conductor one sit velisnad. Dedsia conductor one sit velisnad. It is a remembrance. When you wake up, do not immediately become a person. Do not immediately become a name, a role, a history. Before the mind claims you, stay for a few moments as pure being. I discovered this very early in my own inner explorations, and it changed the whole texture of my days. The moment you remember who you think you are, the aura begins to shrink. Responsibilities gather around you like a crowd. Expectations knock at the door. But before all this noise arrives, there is a small window, a silent gap. In that gap, you are still vast, still undefined, still innocent. This is the moment to anchor yourself. I used to sit on my bed and simply feel my existence, not thinking I am this or I must do that. Just a simple sense of I am. No description, no identity, just presence. This feeling has a tremendous cleansing effect. It washes away the dust of personality that you carry unconsciously. Understand this. Personality is useful, but it is also heavy. You wear it all day like armor. In the morning, before putting it on again, remain naked for a few moments. Let the aura breathe without structure. You will feel a subtle expansion, as if something inside you is stretching after a long confinement. People think purification means adding something positive. Mantras, affirmations, ideas. I tell you, real purification happens when you drop the unnecessary. The aura is naturally pure. It only becomes polluted when you forget your being and live only as a doing machine. As you sit silently, you may notice thoughts trying to enter, Plans, worries, memories, do not fight them. Fighting is again involvement. Simply watch them from a distance, like clouds passing through the morning sky. The sky is not affected by the clouds. In the same way, your awareness is untouched by thoughts. I remember many mornings when just sitting in this awareness, my whole body felt lighter. Breathing became deeper on its own. The face relaxed. The eyes lost their sharpness. In those moments, the aura becomes transparent. Energy flows without obstruction. This ritual requires no time. 5 minutes are enough. But those 5 minutes can change the quality of the entire day. When you begin the day rooted in being, you move into activity without losing yourself. You act, but you are not lost in action. You speak, but you are not trapped in words. Beloved ones, remember this deeply. Before you face the world, face yourself, not as an idea, but as presence. Let this silent remembrance be your second morning ritual. From this space, the aura remains clean, centered, and luminous, no matter what the day brings. Beloved ones, the third ritual of the morning is breath, but not the breath you have known, not the mechanical movement that keeps the body alive, but the breath that becomes conscious, intimate, almost sacred. I have watched many seekers trying complicated techniques, controlling the breath, forcing it into patterns. They miss the simple truth. Breath does not need to be controlled. It needs to be befriended. In my own early days of inner exploration, I discovered that the breath reflects your inner climate exactly. When the mind is restless, the breath is broken. When the mind is silent, the breath becomes smooth. And when the breath is watched with love, both body and aura begin to relax together. This is why breath is such a powerful doorway. But in the morning, the breath is fresh, untouched by the day's conflicts. Sit near a window or under the open sky if possible. Let the first breaths of the day enter you consciously. Do not improve them. Do not deepen them deliberately. Just feel them. Feel the coolness of the air entering the nostrils. Feel the warmth of the air leaving. This simple attention brings the aura into rhythm. As you breathe out, sense that the past is leaving you. Yesterday's emotions, unfinished thoughts, borrowed energies. You have been carrying things that do not belong to you. Other people's expectations, other people's tensions, other people's urgency. The aura has been holding them unknowingly. With each exhalation, allow them to return to existence. I learned this through experience. After speaking to many people, after being surrounded by crowds, I would sometimes feel crowded inside, not tired but occupied. One morning, simply sitting and watching the breath, I felt the heaviness dissolve. I was not pushing it out, I was simply no longer holding it. Breath became a letting go. Breathing consciously is an act of trust. It says, I do not need to cling, I can release. And the moment you release, the body softens, the mind loosens, and the aura expands beyond the boundaries of the skin. You may feel wider, lighter, more spacious. This is not imagination. This is your natural energy field returning to its original openness. Do not visualize colors or lights unless they appear naturally. Visualization is effort. Effort tightens the aura. Feeling loosens it. Just stay with the sensation of breathing. In a few minutes, you may notice that the breath itself becomes slow, almost invisible. When breath becomes subtle, thoughts also become subtle. They are deeply connected. Beloved ones, 10 conscious breaths in the morning can cleanse more than hours of unconscious living. Breath is the invisible river that carries away inner dust. Let this be your third ritual. Simple, silent, and deeply purifying. From this breathing, the aura emerges clear, receptive, and ready to meet life without resistance. Beloved ones, the fourth ritual of the morning is silence. Not the silence you create by closing your mouth, but the silence that arises when you stop interfering with yourself. I have watched people remain quiet on the outside while inside there is a marketplace. True silence is inner, and the morning is the easiest time to taste it. Because the world has not yet fully invaded you, I remained silent for many years, and those years taught me more than all scriptures combined. Silence is not empty. It is full, overflowing. When you touch it, something ancient within you remembers itself. The aura responds immediately. It relaxes, it opens, it becomes soft and transparent. In the morning, do not rush into words. Do not rush into information. The moment you touch your phone, the moment you listen to news, messages, or voices, you allow other people's minds to enter your energy field. And minds are noisy. They leave impressions. Before allowing anyone else inside you, remain with yourself. Sit quietly, stand, or walk slowly. It does not matter. What matters is that you are not feeding the mind. The mind thoughts will still arise. Let them. Silence is not the absence of thoughts. Silence is your non-involvement with them. When you stop giving energy to thoughts, they fall away naturally, like leaves in still air. I remember many mornings when I simply sat and watched the sky. Nothing special was happening, yet everything was happening. The breath was moving, the body was alive, birds were calling, and inside there was a vast quietness. In that quietness, the aura was being washed. No mantra could do what that silence did. People are afraid of silence. They say it feels boring. Boredom is not silence. Boredom is the mind missing its toys. If you stay a little longer, boredom disappears, and silence reveals its depth. In that depth, you meet yourself without masks. Silence removes the impressions that speech creates. Words divide. Silence unites. When you speak, energy moves outward. When you are silent, energy returns home. This return is essential for purification. Without it, the aura remains scattered. Even 5 minutes of true silence in the morning can change the whole texture of your day. You begin to respond instead of react. You listen more. You speak less, but when you speak, your words carry weight. This is the fragrance of silence. Beloved ones, silence is not something to be achieved. It is something to be allowed. The morning offers it freely. Accept the gift. Let silence be your fourth ritual. From this silence, your aura becomes calm, centered, and luminous, untouched by the chaos of the world. The fifth morning ritual is gratitude. Not the gratitude that is taught by the mind, not the polite thank you that society encourages, but a deep, wordless feeling of appreciation for simply being alive. Gratitude is not a moral duty. It is a natural fragrance that arises when the heart is open and the aura is clean. I have lived in great comfort and I have lived with almost nothing. And I tell you from my own experience, gratitude has nothing to do with what you have. It has everything to do with how you see. A man may be surrounded by riches and remain miserable. Another may sit under a tree with empty hands and feel blessed. The difference is awareness. In the morning, before asking life for anything, feel thankful for what has already been given. You have awakened, breath is moving. The heart is beating. Existence has trusted you with another day. This trust alone is enough to bow down in gratitude. When you feel grateful, something subtle happens. The aura expands. It becomes soft, welcoming, receptive. Complaints contract the aura. Gratitude relaxes it. And energy flows only through relaxed spaces. A tense aura repels life. A grateful aura invites it. I remember many mornings when I had nothing planned, nothing to do, no role to play. I would simply sit and feel grateful for the sun rising without asking my permission, for the trees offering shade, for the silence that surrounded me. In those moments, energy was abundant. There was no tiredness, no lack. Gratitude had purified everything. Gratitude is alchemical. It transforms ordinary moments into sacred ones. A cup of tea becomes a celebration. A simple walk becomes a pilgrimage. When gratitude is present, even breathing feels like a blessing. And when gratitude is absent, even miracles feel insufficient. Do not force gratitude. Forced gratitude is hypocrisy. It pollutes rather than purifies. If gratitude is not there, simply notice that even noticing ingratitude is awareness. And awareness is the soil in which gratitude grows naturally. As a morning ritual, let gratitude be felt, not spoken. No need to name things, no need to count blessings. Just allow a soft yes to arise inside you. A yes to existence. A yes to this moment. A yes to yourself. This yes cleans the aura deeply because resentment, comparison, and expectation dissolve in its presence. The aura becomes light, unburdened, innocent again. Life stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a gift. Beloved ones, gratitude is the prayer of the awakened. It requires no temple, no god, no ritual. It is available to anyone who is willing to see. Let gratitude be your fifth ritual. And you will notice that life begins to meet you with the same gratitude you offer it. Energy flows freely, joy becomes effortless, and your aura shines quietly, without effort, without display. Beloved ones, the sixth and final morning ritual is authenticity. This is not something you do for a few minutes. It is something you remember and then carry with you throughout the day. And when authenticity is present, the aura remains pure naturally. No protection is needed. No cleansing is required later. A false life is the greatest pollution. A true life is the greatest purification. I have lived my life openly. Many have judged me, misunderstood me, opposed me, but one thing I never compromised was my inner truth. My inner truth. The moment you compromise with yourself, energy leaks. The moment you return to yourself, energy gathers. Authenticity is the art of not betraying your own being. In the morning, before stepping into the world, feel this clearly. Who are you today? Not as a role, not as a name, not as an image, but as a living presence. Feel your own rhythm, your own mood, your own truth, and silently decide not to act against it. Most people wake up and immediately put on a mask. They remember who they are supposed to be: a parent, a worker, a seeker, a good person. And the mask sits heavy on the aura. Pretending is exhausting. Even goodness, when it is forced, drains energy. I remember many mornings when I stood alone, feeling my own being without definition. In those moments there was no question of right or wrong. There was only honesty. From that honesty, action arose naturally. And those actions carried power because they were not borrowed. Authenticity does not mean doing whatever you want. It means being aware of what is true for you and allowing life to flow from that truth. When you live authentically, your words match your energy. Your actions match your silence. Nothing contradicts. And when nothing contradicts, the aura becomes aligned, strong and luminous. The moment you lie, even a small lie, the aura trembles. The moment you suppress yourself, the aura contracts. The body becomes tired. The mind becomes noisy. But when you speak your truth gently, when you live your truth quietly, the aura relaxes into integrity. As a morning ritual, take a moment to align yourself. Not with goals, not with ambition, but with truth. Feel what is alive in you and promise yourself that today you will not go against it unnecessarily. This simple remembrance has immense power. Beloved ones, when these 6 rituals become part of your mornings, you will not need to protect your aura. It will protect itself. Life will touch you, but it will not cling. People will come and go, but they will not drain you. You will remain centered in your own being. Remember, purity is not something added. It is something revealed when falseness drops. And authenticity is the key that drops all falseness. Let this be your final ritual. And then forget the rituals. Live the truth, and your aura will remain clear, vibrant, and alive.